everyone. Now we are going to the next module, that is Bayesian and computational learning. In this module and this comes under module 3 and this comes under module 3. In this module we are going to discuss about the concepts called Bayes theorem and Gibbs algorithm, maximum likelihood hypothesis and maximum posterior probability and Naive-Bayes classifier. So before we get into these topics, so let us see what is Bayes learning. Here, as you can see here, so Bayesian reasoning provides a probabilistic approach to inference. Okay, so here and in this module, so we concentrate more on estimated probabilities based on the observed data. And here it is based on the assumption that the quantities of interest are governed by the probability distribution. Okay, so probability distribution and optimal decision can be made by these probabilities with observed data. So we based on the observed data, so here we are going to have a prior knowledge or the prior probability, and so based on the observed data, so we are going to have the probability distribution. And here Bayesian learning methods are relevant to study of machine learning for two different reasons. Okay, so in machine learning, why we consider the Bayesian learning methods? Based on these two reasons. So one reason, the first reason is Bayesian learning algorithms that calculate explicit probabilities for hypotheses. As I have already indicated, so we are going to have a different hypothesis and then it is going to calculate the explicit probabilities for hypotheses such as Naive-Bayes classifier. So this is one of the classifier in Bayes theorem, that is Bayesian learning algorithm, or among the most practical approaches to certain types of learning problems. And we have one more reason. The second reason is that they provide a useful perspective for understanding many learning algorithms that do not explicitly manipulate probabilities. So now, like here in the second reason, it is not going to manipulate any probabilities. Okay, so that is based on the useful perspective, that is for understanding many learning algorithms, here it is not going to manipulate any probabilities. Based on these two reasons, so we consider the Bayesian learning algorithm in machine learning concepts. So there are some features in Bayesian learning approach or Bayesian learning method. The first feature here is each observed training example can incrementally decrease or increase the estimated probabilities that hypothesis is correct. So sometimes even the hypothesis can be eliminated when the hypothesis is not found to be consistent with the observed data. Okay, that is one feature, and another feature is prior knowledge can be combined. Okay, so prior knowledge is very important in Bayesian learning concepts. Prior knowledge can be combined to determine the finalized hypothesis of the probability. That is second feature. And the third feature is Bayesian methods can accommodate the hypothesis that can make the probabilistic predictions. And fourth feature is new instances. That means any new examples can be classified by combining the predictions of the multiple hypotheses. These are some of the features of Bayesian learning approach or Bayesian learning methods. And the next part is the practical difficulties in Bayesian learning methods or Bayesian learning approach. So the first practical difficulty is the prior knowledge is required. Okay, so as I have already defined, based on the previous data here, so we are going to have a prior probability. So prior knowledge is required to finalize or to have the final hypothesis, that is a probabilistic hypothesis. That is one practical difficulty, and another practical difficulty is significant computational cost. is required to have the optimal Bayesian optimal decisions. So these two are the practical difficulties in Bayesian learning model or Bayesian learning approach. And okay, so next we shall see Bayesian theorem. So what is Bayesian theorem? Here in Bayesian theorem, as you can see, so here we are going to have some of the notations or the parameters to define the Bayesian theorem. So let us see the notations here, and before that, so let us see what exactly Bayesian theorem provides. So Bayesian theorem provides a way to calculate the probability of a hypothesis, so based on its a prior probability. So as I have already indicated, so first here we should have a prior knowledge of the data. Okay, so and here, so a prior probability, the probabilities of observing various data given the hypothesis and the observed data itself. Okay, so like here I can say, so to have a posterior probability, so finally we are going to find a posterior probability. So to have a posterior probability, here we should have a prior probability. Along with the prior probability, so we should also find out. So we should also find out the probabilities of observing various data given the hypothesis, so and the observed data itself. And these are some of the notations which comes in Bayes theorem. So the first notation is, so P of H, the probability of, like here in a short form we call it as P of H, or it is a probability of H based on the hypothesis. Probability of this hypothesis P of H is nothing but a prior probability of H. Okay, reflects any background knowledge about the chance that H is correct. And the second notation is a probability of D, that is capital D. It is nothing but a prior probability of D, probability that D will be observed. So D is again based on the data. And probability of D given to H. So here we call it as D given to H. That means H based on the hypothesis and D based on the data. Probability of D given to H is nothing but probability of observing D given a world in which H holds, hypothesis holds, and probability of this H given D is nothing but a posterior probability. So this is what we are interested in. Okay, so based on the posterior probability, we are going to classify, or we are going to consider the new instance. We are going to classify the new instance. So probability of H given to D is nothing but a posterior probability of H reflects confidence that H holds after D has been observed. So these are some of the notations which comes in Bayes theorem. So let us see the equation here. Bayes theorem is the cornerstone of Bayesian learning methods because it provides a way to calculate a posterior probability. So here we are interested in finding out a posterior probability, which is probability of H given to D from, so using what? Using a prior probability, that is P of probability of H, and together with probability of D and probability of D given to H. And as you can see in this equation, so let me rewrite this equation, that is, so probability of H given to D is equal to, so probability of D given to H and probability of H, so divided by probability of D. So and this probability of D given to H, so based on the numerator, that what we have here, that is probability of D given to H and probability of this H, that is a prior probability. So we are going to have a posterior probability. So as you can see here, probability of H given to D. So what is probability of H given to D? It is nothing but a posterior probability. So when it increases, so this increases with P of H, that is probability of H with probability of D given to H according to Bayes theorem. So as you can see in this equation, so when this increases when these two. So as I have already told, a posterior probability always depends on the values of probability of D given to H and probability of H, that is a prior probability. And probability of H given to D, same, a posterior probability decreases. So when this decreases, as probability of D increases. So because it is inversely proportional, so when this decreases, when probability of D increases, because the more probable that is it is that D will be observed independent of H. So that is why we do not consider the denominator in most of the case, that is probability of D. So because the D will be observed independent of H, so it never depends on the hypothesis. So the less evidence D provides in support of H. Okay. So we consider this probability of D as just an evidence. Okay. It is independent of hypothesis, it never depends on the hypothesis. And further you can just observe maximum a posterior hypothesis. So in a short form we call it as MAP, maximum a posterior probability, because normally we consider many hypotheses and out of that it will find out the most probable hypothesis. So most probable hypothesis we call it as maximum a posterior hypothesis. So you can see here, in many learning scenarios the learner considers some set of candidate hypothesis H. So generally we consider some set of hypothesis, and out of these hypotheses and is interested in finding the most probable hypothesis. So finally we will consider the most probable hypothesis, that is what is maximum a posterior hypothesis. So most probable hypothesis where the small h is the most probable hypothesis belongs to capital H. So capital H is nothing but the some set of candidate hypothesis and given the observed data D. Any such maximally probable hypothesis is called, right. So as I have already indicated, so when we consider the most probable hypothesis, the most probable hypothesis that is the most probable hypothesis, so depends on what? Maximally probable hypothesis. So is called a maximum posterior hypothesis. In a short form we call it as MAP. And Bayes theorem to calculate the posterior probability of each candidate hypothesis is, so here we call it as HMAP. So why we call it as HMAP? Because we are going to have most probable hypothesis based on the maximum posterior probability, and is a MAP hypothesis provided. So that is why in a short form we call it as HMAP. And this probability of D so can be dropped. As I have already told, here it is just an evidence, it is independent of hypothesis. Since it is independent of hypothesis, so we can drop probability of D because it is constant. So as I said, it is independent of H. Okay. And if we consider the equations, here HMAP is equal to, so here org max of, so probability of H given to D. Okay. So here out of a posterior probability, so we will have a different, we will have a set of hypotheses. So at using this a posterior probability, so in another form we call it as HMAP can be can be written as, so because out of all the hypotheses we are going to have the most probable hypothesis. On what basis? Based on the maximum value. So here org max of what? Max of this probability of H given to D. So probability of H given to D. Okay. So that is what you can see in this equation. So we are going to have, so look at this equation. So we have the small h which belongs to capital H, because small h indicates the most probable hypothesis, capital H indicates a set of candidate hypothesis. And if we try to expand this equation, because we know this equation, so here if we try to expand this equation, then we will be getting, so org, so here we can write this as org max of, so I am going to substitute this part here, so which is probability of D given to H, probability of H divided by probability of D. Okay, probability of D. So you can see the same equation here, and later probability of D can be dropped. So this can be dropped, and if we drop this part, then we will be getting only probability of D given to H into probability of H. So finally we are going to have HMAP. So MAP based on MAP is nothing but maximum a posterior probability, which provides the hypothesis. It is most probable hypothesis, which is nothing but how we can calculate this based on the maximum value of a posterior probability. So we can have this equation at the end. So here when we look into maximum likelihood hypothesis, so in a short form we call it as ML hypothesis, maximum likelihood hypothesis. So as you can see here, in some cases it is assumed that every hypothesis in H is equally probable a priori. So probability of HI is equal to probability of HJ. So that means when we have the equal probability, so when we have equal probability for all HI and HJ in H. So as I have already defined, so H, capital H is considered as set of candidate hypothesis. In that case, instead of considering that is maximum value, so sometimes if we have the equal probability, okay, in hypothesis, then so we can have this equation, that is probability of HI is equal to probability of HJ. In this case, the below equation can be simplified and need only consider the term probability of D given to H. Okay. In that case, when we have equal probability, then so in such cases we can have, the equation can be defined or can be simplified as, so that is probability of D given to H to find the most probable hypothesis. So because already you have seen this equation is HMAP is equal to org max of probability of D given to H into probability of H. So here remember, probability of H is nothing but a prior probability of the hypothesis, and the equation, this equation can be simplified as hypothesis here. So which hypothesis? Maximum likelihood hypothesis. So here we concentrate on the likelihood function. So here maximum likelihood hypothesis can be considered as org max of, so probability of D given to H. So which part is ignored here? So we have just ignored a prior probability. Why? Because so sometimes when we have equal prior probability, okay, so for example, if one probability of hypothesis has 0.5 and another probability of hypothesis has again same 0.5, it is like 50% and 50%. In that case, it would be very difficult to consider the final hypothesis. In such cases, here a prior probability can be ignored. So finally, we can have only probability of D given to H to have the maximum likelihood hypothesis. And so probability of D given to H is often called the likelihood of the data given H. Okay. So please remember, here probability of D given to H is often called the likelihood of the data. So D given H, and any hypothesis that maximizes probability of D given to H is called maximum likelihood hypothesis. So in Bayesian theorem, so we have seen a posterior probability and the likelihood function. So likelihood function especially, so this probability of D given to H is nothing but maximum likelihood hypothesis, and probability of H is nothing but a prior probability of the hypothesis, and probability of D is nothing but it is just an evidence which is independent of hypothesis. And finally, to have a maximum likelihood hypothesis, so we are going to have only probability of D given to H. Further we shall see one example based on the Bayes theorem. So look at this example. Consider a medical diagnosis problem in which there are two alternative hypotheses. Okay, so there are two alternative hypotheses here. The first one is that the patient has particular form of cancer. Okay, and the second one is so that the patient does not. So a patient does not. Okay, so has. Second one, that the patient does not. The available data is from a particular laboratory test with two possible outcomes. So here the laboratory outcome or the result says, so it has two possible outcomes, so whether whether the patient has cancer or so whether the patient has cancer or does not. Okay, so what are these two possible outcomes? We can just consider this as positive and negative. Okay, so positive and negative. Next, so we have a prior knowledge that over the entire population of people only 0.008 have this disease. As I have already told, so here we should have, that is one of the practical difficulty in Bayesian learning concept, because it should have a prior knowledge, okay, so prior probability. And with this data, so we have entire population of people only 0.08 have this disease. So based on the earlier data, so we have this statistics, and furthermore the lab test is only an imperfect indicator of the disease. So we can also say that the lab test is only an imperfect indicator of the disease. So this is another condition. And then the test returns a correct positive result is only 98% of the cases in which the disease is actually present. So here 98% the test returns, right. So like here the laboratory test returns that, so a correct positive result is only 98% of the cases in which the disease is actually present. So it is giving a right, okay, so right result where the 98% of the people have the like cancer, which is correct, right. So which is correct, actually present, and a correct negative result in only 97% of the cases. So what is the meaning of negative result? So negative result is 97% of the cases in which disease is not present, okay. So like here, so disease is not present, so like it is correctly classified that 97% of the people so do not have this disease, but 98% of the people have this disease, okay. So it is nothing, we consider this as a truly classified or correctly classifying, right. And based on this data, so in this in other cases the test returns the opposite result, okay. So based on this data, so we are going to have a new instance or the new example, or we are going to classify the new example. So the above situation can be summarized by the following probabilities, okay. Let us see the probabilities here. So probability of cancer, see here, which is a prior probability. A prior probability is, see, you can see here we have a prior knowledge. So based on the prior knowledge we can have a prior probability over the entire population of people only 0.08 have this disease. So look at this probability of cancer, okay, which can be considered as 0.008. Then so negation of this cancer how much, which is 0.992, okay. That means so okay, so out of 1.008 have this disease, so which can be treated as probability of cancer, and probability of negation of this cancer can be considered as 0.992, okay, because if we just subtract 0.008 with 1, then you will be getting 0.992. And so next we shall see the probability of this positive, okay, so given to cancer. So what is the meaning of this? 98% of the cases in which disease is actually present, okay, you can just observe here. So actually present, okay, whenever we consider the disease is present, so we represent it as positive, and whenever there is no cancer, then we represent it as negative. So here actually here we have this cancer and which is actually correct, then we can define it as probability of plus given to cancer, which is 0.92, okay. And what is opposite of this? Probability of this negative, okay. So that means the probability of this negative, so given to cancer, which is 0.02. So if you subtract this 0.98 from 1, then you get 0.02, okay. So what is the indication of this? In the first case, it indicates that 98% of the cases in which disease is actually present. So disease is actually present is treated as positive, but in this case disease is not actually present, but it will be diagnosed as cancer, okay. So here it is representing probability of this negative indicates what? So it is not actually present, okay. So which is only 0.02, and similarly, so and you can see a correct negative result in only 97% of the cases in which the disease is not present, right. See here, So we are diagnosing people and who do not have cancer. So how much percentage? 97% of people who are diagnosed and so would like they do not have cancer, and which are which is treated as 97% of the cases, and that you can see here. See here, negation of cancer, so no cancer, and even the test result has come as negative. How much percentage? It is 97%. Okay, you can just observe. So in this case, when we have only cancer, then it says that there is a cancer but it is showing negative result. How much percentage? It is only 2%. Okay, so I hope you are able to understand this. So whenever we consider only cancer, there is a cancer, there is a disease called cancer, but it is showing negative result. So how much percentage? It is only 0.02. So in this case, in the second case, so here people do not have cancer, okay, even it is diagnosed as negative result. So how much percentage? 97%. But in this case, what is the indication of this? Here they do not have cancer, probability of plus given to negation of cancer. So what is the indication of this? Here people do not have cancer, but it is diagnosed as positive. Okay, it is diagnosed as cancer, positive result, then which is only 0.03. Okay, so based on the given data, so we have these probabilities. One is a prior probability based on the prior knowledge, and the other data which is probability of positive given to H, probability of negative given to cancer, and probability of positive given to negation of cancer. Negation of cancer means so no cancer. Okay, there is no disease. There is no cancer in some set of people, but which is treated as positive. So, and once we get these values, so once we extract these values from the given data, then we can easily find out or we can easily classify the new instance. Okay, so when we look at the next step, so suppose a new patient is observed for whom the lab test returns a positive result. Okay, so the lab result has come as positive result, but we need to check whether it is correct or not. So should we diagnose the patient as having cancer or not? So of course we can do that using based on a prior probability or the prior knowledge and the given data. So here probability of, and this equation would be, equation becomes probability of, so plus, that is positive, so given to cancer. So equation goes like this. So probability of positive given to cancer into, so probability of cancer, because this is nothing but likelihood function, as we have already discussed in maximum likelihood part. So this part is likelihood and this part is a prior probability. So here we are going to have this cancer. Okay, so you will just have to substitute the value. So this value, what is probability of positive given to cancer? So let us go back and check. So positive given to cancer, here we have 0.98. So we are going to substitute here as 0.98, and what is a prior probability? A prior probability of the cancer, so which is into 0.008. Okay, so here similarly we need to consider, okay, so you can just look at this equation, and finally we would be getting this value as 0.0078. And further, so you can check, so probability of positive, see here we mainly concentrate on positive. Why? Because the test result has come as positive. Okay, so we are not considering the negative part. And probability of positive given to negation of cancer, here we are considering negation of cancer and probability of negation of cancer. So probability of positive given to negation of cancer into probability of negation of cancer. So what is the value of this? This value is 0.03 into, and this a prior probability of negation of cancer, is nothing but 0.992. So further if we simplify this, then we get 0.298. Okay, so here, and you can see here we get 0.0078 in the first case and 0.0298 in the second case. And out of this, which one has a maximum value? Of course the second one. Second one has the maximum value, and which will be treated as negation of cancer. So as you have already seen here, the probability of positive given to negation of cancer. What is the meaning of a probability of positive given to negation of cancer? Negation of cancer means, so people do not have cancer, but it is diagnosed as positive. It is diagnosed as positive. So like out of these two, so this one has maximum value, and this we call it as HMAP. Out of these two hypotheses, so like posterior probability. So based on the maximum value, then we can have maximum posterior probability. So a posterior probability based on what? Most probable hypothesis. And so here the exact posterior probability can also be determined by normalizing the above quantities so that they sum to 1. So that means, see, we have got this value, this equation you have already seen in the numerator, but in the denominator we had a probability of data, probability of D. Probability of D is just a summation of these two. So since the denominator part is same both in the first part and second part, so we try to ignore this, and this is independent of hypothesis. Okay, so just to normalize the above quantities, so we are going to have the denominator which is a summation of these two. So you can see here we have 0.21 in the first part and 0.79 in the second part, and out of these two, of course, we can have the maximum value in the second part. So in the second part is here the probability of negation of cancer. So negation of cancer, that means people do not have cancer, but it is diagnosed as positive. Okay, so with this result we can say that so when new patient is observed, so what is the result? What is the result of new patient? Here the lab test returns positive. Okay, lab test returns positive, but so that person does not have any disease like cancer. So that is the indication of this value. Okay, so this is one such example based on maximum posterior probability and maximum likelihood function. Thank you.